Hello, it's Nikki and welcome back to this series about moving into this version of yourself that you know is lurking around the corner, and yet you know it's time just to clean some stuff up, because I know that phrase of what's got you here won't get you there, and I really get on board with that. Sometimes we need to look at life and business and ourselves and how we're operating in the world and really question it and question whether it's useful. And I often think about this, when I go on a trip, and if I'm traveling on my own with the children and like Matt's not coming, I'm the adult who's carrying everything. And so when I'm packing, I'm always looking at whether or not I really need this thing. And I'm like, are they going to wear this? Are they not? Am I just taking it? Can I buy it there? Like, why am I doing all of these things? Like nappies, for example, when my kids were little, the first couple of times I remember like taking massive big packets of nappies on the train, and I remember my mother-in-law saying, if you just let me know which nappies you need, I'll get them for you. I was like, oh, that's great. Like, I've got so much like space in my suitcase now. And these sorts of things are really essential as we do this cleanup, as we're moving into the next version of ourselves. So the third thing I want to talk about is boundaries today. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be a completely new version of yourself that is cold, that is stark, that is removed. It's not about that. It's about being honest, being truthful, being transparent, and really setting that standard for yourself. And one of the ways that I remember this being a noticeable thing was I used to coach people in my DMs, which I accidentally ended up doing because that time of like 2016, 2017, I was on my phone anyway. And usually I was lying in the dark whilst my baby was fast asleep next to me. And it was one of those, like, even if when I started to pull away, they'd wake up. So I ended up just kind of sitting there, and like he'd have his little feet on mine, and it was all very sweet. Anyway, what would happen is that I would get client inquiries 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And I began that process of finding out what they needed and what they were looking for. And usually these people were sort of after a bit of coaching, or they would send you like 4 paragraphs of stuff to read through. And I couldn't just ignore that, or rather I didn't have great boundaries at that time. And as soon as I made a decision to operate from a place that felt clear, it felt clean, it felt professional, it felt focused, it changed my business. So as soon as I got a whiff of a client inquiry in DMs, even though my website's there, I would point people to the next step. Like, send me a message via my website, fill in this form. And that meant that when I went into my folder with all my client inquiries, I would just have that kind of focus, and I could focus on that thing and then really help people. So it's boundaries like that that not only serve you, but actually end up serving your client, your business, your friends, your family, because people only know what to do and how to treat you if you tell them, and what's acceptable for you, what's not. And this whole process is really powerful in the mix. So I will leave that with you. Have a think about boundaries. Again, you don't have to change everything overnight. You can do it slowly but surely. You can have conversations. You can do things gently, but just see how you go. And remember, bear in mind, who is that person that you want to be? How are they showing up? And how can you make those tweaks to support that? Lots of love. I'll see you next time. Bye.